The NPH Hour is back for the home stretch on News Talk Saga 960 AM. I'm your host, Jason Thom, and I'm also one of the day one broadcasters for the Canadian Elite Basketball League. They return to the floor in just a few days and once again make history for basketball in Canada. The last time they did that was last summer when the CEBL played safely through the pandemic in a tournament that was a battle for a number of reasons. The Saskatchewan Rattlers struggled with injuries those few weeks and finished last in the league, but they had a couple of standout performers, including my next guest, Kemy Osse, who has brought the same mentality from high school to the NCAA to the pro ranks, and it all comes from his roots, born in a working-class neighborhood in the basketball hotbed of Montreal. Kemy Osse of the Saskatchewan Rattlers of the CEBL and one of the standout players for that squad and really the whole league last season at the Summer Series. It was such a short tournament during a pandemic. You guys were traveling in, everyone faced their own challenges, but how were you able to focus and play so well? I mean, you were one of the top 3-point shooters in the entire tournament. You really stood out. Is it because of your upbringing? It's because of everything you went through that you were able to kind of stay laser focused and block out all that outside stuff?
You said it. My upbringings, man. I'm from Parc Ex, where you gotta be mentally tough to be successful, to do everything. And I came from a program that's ran by my brother Nelson. If you're gonna work or play for him, you gotta be tough mentally. You gotta have that dog mentality, and I think that's most of the game. I think basketball and just any other sports is more mental. It's more mental than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Parc Ex and calling some games last year. I saw you throw up the X over top of your head after a couple of threes. So just why don't you just tell the people who don't know and who haven't been there, what makes that place so special, and why do you like to represent it every time you get on the floor?
Parc Ex, man, it's a small neighborhood, man. Small neighborhood, a diverse one. People with different cultures. A lot of Africans, Haitians, Italians, Greeks. Actually, one of my favorite restaurants is a Greek restaurant. It's called Tripoli. I go there often, man. During quarantine, I was ordering there a lot. So it's just like that vibe that you have. I feel like everybody's together in that community. We're one of the oldest families in the neighborhood. My parents got the house, I think, in the late 80s. So we've been there since then. So everybody knows us. We've been in that same house. So everybody knows that that's our house in the neighborhood. Started playing ball there. That's where I learned all my skills from my brothers. I got 3 brothers, and all 3 of them helped me throughout my career. And my sisters too, of course, my parents. So coming from that neighborhood, and my parents actually were successful in that neighborhood. They were able to buy a house in there. I got my work ethic from them, and then that's how I started basketball. And I just used that work ethic that was instilled in me as a young kid, and I just put that on the court, and good results came out of that.
You the youngest in the family as well?
Yeah, it's 6 of us, and I'm the youngest one. Yeah.
So tell me about that, man, because not only you got to bring that on the floor with you as well.
Yeah.
You've seen it all, right?
I think being the youngest one, that's the benefits of it. You get to see, and you get to pick and choose what you want from everybody. And I think that's why the youngest always end up being the best.
I use that all the time, man. I hear you, right?
Yeah, but I'm the youngest one. Tough love, especially from my parents, my siblings. My parents were a little cooler with me. I guess they didn't have energy for the last one, but my siblings been tough on me, man. But it's all love. I know they'll run through a brick wall for me. They'll give me anything I need.
That's awesome. And the CEBL has announced that Montreal will have a team next year. Considering what the league's about and what you've seen, how excited are you for the community that the kids there will now be able to have a pro team to kind of see and feel and touch and kind of say, okay, I can maybe play for them one day. How excited are you for the city to kind of see the league come in there?
I'm very excited. It's a league that I'm actually playing in, so I think that even brings more excitement to it. We had other pro teams. We had the Matrix. I think we had some even, but before that, it didn't work out. But I have a good feeling about the CEBL team. I think it's a really good league. They're professional. Just last year, from what they pulled in that bubble, once they did that, I said, okay, that's a legit league, man. And I think they'll even Montreal is like, to me, it's the best city in Canada to me. You see me repping.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's gonna attract a lot of people. A lot of kids are off during the school year. A lot of kids play basketball there. Like the basketball community is big there. I think that stadium's gonna be packed. I really have a good feeling about it.
Any ideas for the team name? They're doing a little competition now. Have you put any thought into that yourself?
I don't know, man. Shoot, they shouldn't ask me. I'm gonna be biased. I might throw Parc Ex in there.
I was
man.
about to say the Knights, right? Go on the Knights.
So I don't think they'll ask me, but I don't know, man. I just think it's a good thing for us to have a team in the CEBL, the Canadian League, that's so competitive, and I think it'll be well represented out of Montreal.
Last question. A lot of players coming out of Montreal, and a lot from your area, right? I mean, from your particular area. And, Lugens Dort, for example, is a guy like, I saw a lot of his game in you in the Summer Series last year, right? And I just got to ask, like, how much pride do you take in the city, not only with the skill that's coming out, but the way everybody coming out of Montreal plays?
I take pride into that because I feel like from that program from Parc Ex, my group was the first one that started like sending people to the States. And my brother's program, I'm the first one that made it to D1. So when I see that, it really makes me happy. And I always want the next generation to be better than me.
Yeah.
I want like that, and I think that's the way to see it, and that's the way to go about it. So seeing a guy like Lou going to the league, that makes me happy. I'm close with Lou. It's not like I'm like, oh, I want you to do good, but not better. Nah, I want you to be an all-star one day. I want you to become, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I feel because it started with my group, and we passed that down. I think that means a lot. And then we started with that style of play that my brother and the program instilled in us. And you can see like it's going down, and everybody that comes from there, they're known for hardworking players with skills too, but we're known as dogs. And then I take pride in that. And I think once you have that mentality, I mean, you can only be successful.
Shout out Nelson Osse, shout out Parc Ex Knights, and thank you, Kemy Osse, for coming on the NPH Hour. And I'm looking forward to calling more of your games this year for the Saskatchewan Rattlers and the CEBL.
Appreciate that, Jason. Thanks for having me too. And it's a pleasure, man.
Unique perspectives are the spice of life, and the basketball community is full of different viewpoints. And when we bring them all together on this show, the sport and the country itself is the big winner. You can see the full league schedule for the return of basketball on CEBL.ca. All games are live streamed for free on their new media service on the CBC Gem app, and some games are airing nationally on the CBC as well. For listeners of this station, you'll be able to hear a game each week live coming from your radio dial. More information on that will come out in the next week, so please keep your eye out. I hope you enjoyed the show. Next week, our focus will turn to the Canadian national teams as the women's senior national team will be preparing for the Olympics, while the men's senior national team will be getting ready to try to qualify for the games with a tournament at the end of the month in Victoria. We also have the U19s getting together. Basketball is revving back up here in Canada, and it's about time. This has been the NPH Hour here on News Talk Saga 960 AM.